Hi everybody, how you doing? Hey, what's going on everybody? I wonder why that guy's looking so much. People have been looking a lot today. I can't figure that one out. So, you know, like, I get a lot of questions lately about 250s, man. It seems like it's one of the most common things I've been asked about lately is what 250 sport bike I think is best. And my answer to that is fucking none of them. Why would you buy a 250 sport bike, I guess, you know? I've discussed this before, but I'm just going to make a video just about it because no one seems to get it. These 250 sport bikes really aren't making a lot of power, you know? Like, they're not any better than a supermoto is where I get at it. Because, like, you know, like, let's say you were interested in any one of them, even like the 300 one coming out, whatever, that Ninja 300. I'm still willing to bet that the WR250 or something like that is still a faster bike, you know? Or if you're looking at the CBR 250, you might as well look at the CRF 250L. It's the same motor, you know? And you think to yourself, why? I want a sport bike. Because the 250 sport bikes don't do anything worth a damn. They don't. They're like, the only thing performance-wise that they like can do, a supermoto will do completely better. Most of the 250 supermoto bikes have more power than or at least will accelerate better than one of the other ones. And the reason why is because they're lighter for one. You know, a lot of them are just a lighter frame with the same power plant or better. So, you know, that right there, it's not going to outperform in a straight line or accelerate better than the supermoto bike. And if it is a supermoto setup bike, I can about guarantee it's going to outperform in handling, braking than the super bike of the 250 style, you know? I mean, they're not really fucking super bikes. If anything, they're like basically standard little 250 bikes. They've been decorated to look like a sport bike. I mean, they're just really not, you know, the right rider, you can make one handle halfway decent, but I've never seen one that had really all that great suspension. I just don't get the appeal. I mean, if you're in the market and you really think you need a 250, I just don't get why you don't go with something like a supermoto, you know, right out the bat, because it's a more forgiving bike. Honestly, it really is. It's more forgiving. The fact you could wreck that thing and it's gonna be fine. You know, it's more wreckable. Like, it's just harder to hold up better to a wreck, and it's cheaper to fix after a wreck. It's gonna be harder to wreck too because it's just a more nimble, easier to ride machine. Oh, look at that. Harder bike to wreck to begin with, just because it's more agile, it's easier, it's more forgiving. It makes more sense as a beginner bike, even if you want to go into like super sports someday, you know? One day down the road when you want an actual sport bike, I really think it would be still a better choice. It teaches you more about riding, just being as sort of agile, more forgiving machine, because you're going to try things on it you weren't going to try with you know, a 250 Ninja or a 300 Ninja or whatever the hell you got. You know, it's a better starting platform. I really do believe it is. And it's just easier on you. Like I said, it's cheaper to get into, it's cheaper to insure, and it might be the bike you get into is to be a starter bike, and then some of these 250s, I mean, you got to think, you got people buying them, like experienced riders buying 250cc supermoto bikes as their main bike after riding for years, you know? Like, that's the bike they choose to ride. Everyone's looking at me a lot today, like a lot. So that's why I still think it's this, if you're really so set to get a 250, you might as well get one that's gonna do what a sport bike does, but even better, and is cheaper on you all around, more forgiving, and more fun to ride. Let's be honest, it really would be. And of course, there's the fact that you can actually go off-roading on it. You can fucking pop curbs and do wheelies. It's easy to stunt. You know, it's a more fun bike. Trust from a guy who's come from, you know, leader bikes to a supermoto. I don't see really the appeal in the sport bike thing. I mean, not that I don't see sport bikes in general, just not the 250 ones. I'm not trying to hate on anyone who's got a 250 sport bike. There's a lot of people out there that have them. So I actually get them on a little bit of effect. Like, you know, if you really are trying to get yourself set up for a sport bike, it does, you know, it's. I could see where you would get that, thinking that, oh, you know, this is like the bike to get because I want to ride a big CC sport bike someday. In which case, yeah, I guess that makes sense. You know, you're thinking like, if I get this bike, I'll be better set up. But you know, it's not necessarily true. I will say the newer 250s at least look pretty cool. You could probably pull a hoe with them, you know, if they didn't know any better. You could pick up a chick on a 250. You can even tell them what it is. It's a good chance they would just be like, what? Okay. Yeah, you could pick up a chick with one. They wouldn't know any better. I guess it could impress people. You just gotta decide whether you want to have like a fun or you want to impress people and maybe try to get laid. I mean, hey, good for you. They do look good. I mean, that's what I say, that they really do. Like the old ones look like fucking, till recent years, all the starter bikes look like they belonged in the fucking in the 80s. And I think a lot of them are the same frame. They're just, you know, or still shitty older technology. They're just, you know, they finally like sort of updated the plastics on them and the fairings. When you pulled up and the chick sees that bike, you know, she could be wowed by it. Unless, of course, it's like this and you're talking to this chick and you're like, she's like, oh, I see you ride a bike, and you point over to, yep, that's my machine over there. It's a Ninja 250R. She's like, oh, that's cool. Is it fast? It's pretty out of control, babe. She's like, yeah, that sounds pretty sweet. And you're feeling like $1 million because she's all paying attention to you. Then she's just trolling you the whole time, and she's like, yeah, I ride too. I was like, oh yeah, what do you ride? I've got a CBR 1000. Oh yeah, that's cool too. She's like, yeah, it's alright. Then wouldn't you feel like a douchebag? I don't know, that's just my opinion. I think you should get a fucking supermoto if you're gonna get a 250, you know? But hey, to each his own. We all do our own thing. The supermoto is sort of the fucking, you know, second cousin of motorcycling. Nobody really knows it. Peace! Not so hard. I always thought, how do they ride with a gun? But it's fucking easy. Just keep it right up here. You can still get to the clutch. Come on, crab apple! We're doing some wheelie.